Cheems is one of the best performing meme coins on the Binance Smart Chain today. The question is, what's driving this? Who's buying here? Who's selling here? Does it still make sense to buy the token? Let's have a look at some on-chain analytics. Let's dive behind the price data to dive deeper and look at things most people are not considering. Now here are the trending tokens on the Binance Smart Chain ordered by their liquidity pool size. And we've got two liquidity pools, not one, but two liquidity pools by Cheems. It's the sixth largest token in terms of liquidity on the chain. We are up 61% today, 137% this month, and more than 1,000% this year. And with a current market cap of a bit under 200 million, it's still relatively small in the grand scheme of things. The largest meme coin across all of crypto is Dogecoin with 57 billion with a B. And we have to scroll quite a bit down until we get to the 200 million mark. So there's quite a bit of potential upside. Now, I always like to look at the following data. For any token before I buy it, I like to look at the data over here. This comes from dexscreener.com. So I simply search for the token on the DEX screener and have a look at this. We can see the number of buyers versus sellers and the buying volume versus the selling volume. Now we are up 55% because the buying volume is larger than the selling volume. But at the same time, we see that the number of buyers is actually smaller than the number of sellers. In other words, the current buyers, they tend to move more money per transactions than the sellers do, which is surprising given that the price was shooting up that much, right? If you're buying for a fixed amount and then you're selling after a gain, your sell transaction is higher than the buying transaction. But it appears as if the interest by the buyers is even higher and they deploy more capital. It seems like potentially whales are getting in. Now this is the token distribution of Cheems. It seems to be relatively well distributed. This very large piece of the pie is just other accounts. This is not a single wallet. And so let's have a look at the on-chain data. Let's see who's buying and selling here in detail. Let's have a look at the number of retail investors versus whale investors, for example. Let's see what's behind those 43,000 holders on chain. Now, before we do this, one more thing. I've already published a video on Cheems before. And here's what's so fascinating. When you talk about a token that's not really trending and you're simply just discovering interesting on-chain data, YouTube does not necessarily send this to a lot of people. An average video is here in gray. The Cheems video that was published 1 month ago is here in blue. At the time, the price was at 6024. Now we are at 6078, so more than a 3x since then. And so I publish videos on this channel regularly on various meme coins, and I try to be early. So if you don't want to miss the next video, then feel free to subscribe, feel free to potentially even hit the notification bell, because again, YouTube is not really with us on our side with the algorithm. Only when a token has already risen, when it's very popular, that's when YouTube will show it to a broader audience. The smaller hidden gems, unfortunately, are not shown that easily. And so here we go. We've got the number of retail investors on the left and the number of whale investors on the right. And we distinguish this by the number of tokens that are held. Now, Cheems has a lot of zeros. And so even the retail investor has 1 trillion tokens. So those 11,000 wallets, they own roughly $788 of the token. When we go another 10x in minimum holding, so now $7,000 to $8,000 worth, we have 2,200 wallets, and another 10x, so now $70,000 to $80,000 worth of the token, we count 334 wallets. And so I find this fascinating. The number of retail investors rather tended to trend downwards. It was especially the medium-sized retail wallets and the whales that are going up. Now, especially with this recent rally, this seems to be all whale accounts, right? The number of whales is going up. The other accounts are going down. So we are seeing a similar picture to what we've already observed over here, right? With the comparison of number of buyers versus buying volume. That being said, that push by the whales still introduces a lot of new first-time traders. Have a look at the number of new traders versus returning traders over time. Most days it was simply just the existing traders that trade against one another. Yesterday, however, we have seen a massive influx of new users. Now we can ignore the latest data point because today isn't yet over. Today has just started. But it seems like so far since beginning of the day, it's mainly again returning users. So yesterday, 68% of all of trading was done by completely new wallets. So far since beginning of the day, this tends to be turning around again. We see a very similar setup for the number of buyers versus sellers. Again, a massive spike yesterday. Again, an overhang of a lot of buyers yesterday. And let's see how today's data point will play out. It's still very calm. It's early hours in Europe and it's night in America. Now here's what historically has happened. Have a look at this. The 5th of October, we had the same kind of buyer's overhang, and it seems like that kind of overhang can carry us for a while. Because here is that 5th of October, and subsequently we still went up by 244%. Are we going to see the same this time? Your guess is as good as mine. This seems to be a rally driven by the big whales, where now retail is following as well. And so if this can continue, very much depends on whether or not the whales will dump or continue holding for a while. And so pretty much all of the outperformance right now comes from the Memecoin market. Have a look at the different categories within crypto. Zoo-themed tokens performed the best in the last week. The Pump.fun ecosystem, which is the launch pad of meme coins on Solana, performed second best. Then we've got AI memes, base memes, Solana memes, frog themed, etc. Most of this is meme coins. And so let's have a look at this Pump.fun ecosystem. The big question is, how can we identify tokens that become really large still at an early point? So for example, over here, the peanut token, which almost doubled in the last week and is now the largest market cap. It's now at $1.61. How can we find a token like this when it's just at a few cents? Or how can we find a token like Gozeus Maximus, again, when it's just at a few cents, not above $1? Because I published a video on goat when we were still at 24 cents. And I also published a video on peanut when it was still at 11 cents. The way to find those kind of tokens early is through wallet tracking. So have a look at this alert, the peanut token. It was bought by Crypto Banter when it was still at 3 cents. Crypto Banter is one of the largest channels in all of YouTube around crypto. They've got 1.1 million subscribers. And so since that alert, the price went up by more than 5,000%. I believe that meme coin trading is not just a game of luck. It's also a game of skill. And if you follow the insiders, if you follow the people that move markets, if you follow the traders that tended to make the right calls in the past, we do have potentially a market edge. And so it's all about finding those kinds of people. It's all about finding those wallets. And we track various wallets by Crypto Banter. We've got 33 wallets in total, but we track more than 400. So it's not just Crypto Banter that we track. We also track Alex Becker. We also track Kyle Chessy. We also track Crypto Gains. We've got a lot of influencers that we're tracking. And so I really believe in this strategy. I made a dedicated tutorial section just on this topic. How can we find various influencer wallets? How can we then track those influencer wallets? And once we track them, how can we interpret the signals that we get from the tracking? It's 8 videos in total, and it's all part of the premium membership of this channel. It's down below, thebitcoinstrategy.com. But premium is not just about wallet tracking. It's also about on-chain analytics, right? The charts that we looked at today in this video. It's also about backtesting. It's also about risk management and portfolio diversification. There's more than 100 videos in total. Feel free to check it out. Now, once we've got a signal, we of course also have to discuss when to buy, when to sell. We have to discuss the analytics, etc. That's why we've got dedicated chats on the individual altcoins as well. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, just message me within the first week and I will refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. And so yes, I do believe that Cheems has quite a bit of upside potential. It is important though to continue monitor the whales, to potentially even set a stop loss, because once the whales sell, then the price can also correct. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video or see you in premium. Cheers.